AG Bill Barr had a secret reason to clear Mike Flynn, DOJ lawyer claims, as judges look set to reject bid to stop judge holding probe into dropping case against Donald Trump. The acting Solicitor General raised the prospect of the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals Tuesday. The U.S. Appeals Court judges voiced skepticism toward a bid by Flynn to compel Sullivan to immediately drop the criminal case against him. Justice Department dropped the case despite Flynn's guilty plea. Barr seized the case in the context of non-public information from other investigations. However, the government lawyer stopped short of claiming Barr actually held information he was not able to share with the court judge. He has to drop the case like a hot potato. Flynn pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his Russia contacts in pre-inauguration conversations about U.S. sanctions on Moscow by Jeff Earl, deputy U.S. political editor for DailyMail.com and Reuters, published 1451 BST, the 11th of August 2020, updated 1936 BST, the 11th of August 2020. The Trump Justice Department encountered turbulence Tuesday in its effort to promptly dismiss the case against Mike Flynn, as the government's top advocate raised the surprising argument that Attorney General Bill Barr may have held secret information when he pushed to drop charges against Flynn. Acting Solicitor General Jeffrey Wall made the point while pushing back a series of tough questions and statements from members of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit who were hearing the Flynn case, a prosecution that has infuriated President Donald Trump. The AG sees this in the context of non-public information from other investigations, Wall told the judges, justifying the government's sudden decision to drop the case despite Flynn's sworn guilty plea. Acting Solicitor General Jeffrey Wall made the argument that the Attorney General may have information he was not able to share when the Justice Department suddenly dropped the case against former White House National Security Advisor Mike Flynn. This courtroom sketch depicts former President Donald Trump's former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, standing center, flanked by his lawyers, listening to U.S. District Judge Emmett Sullivan, right, as he addresses Flynn and points to the American flag inside the federal court in Washington, Tuesday, December 18, 2018. It may be possible the Attorney General had before him information that he was not able to share with the court. We put in front of the court the reasons that we could, but it may not be the whole picture available to the executive branch, he said, Politico reported. Notably, Wall did not actually assert that Barr had secret information about the Flynn case that he was refusing to share. Confidential and sensitive information can be kept under seal in case with national security implications. The judges heard arguments about Judge Emmett Sullivan's to hold a hearing on how to proceed when the government sought to drop its case. He even had a retired judge draft a friend of the court brief, since both Flynn's lawyers and the government ended up on the same side. Flynn pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his Russia contacts in pre-inauguration conversations about U.S. sanctions on Moscow. The U.S. Appeals Court judges voiced skepticism toward a bid by Flynn to compel Sullivan to immediately drop the criminal case against him, as the Justice Department has demanded despite Flynn twice pleading guilty to lying to the FBI. The AG sees this in the context of non-public information from other investigations, Acting Solicitor General Jeffrey Wall told the judges, justifying the government's sudden decision to drop the case despite Flynn's sworn guilty plea. Attorney General William Barr's department suddenly dropped charges against Mike Flynn despite his earlier guilty pleas in this May 1, 2008 file. Photo, U.S. District Judge Emmett G. Sullivan is pictured during a ceremony at the federal courthouse in Washington. And your position, Judge Cornelia Pillard told Flynn's lawyer during the hearing, is that, no, he can't hear both sides on the law and he has to drop the case like a hot potato. Judges from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit heard fresh arguments in the politically charged case after a 3-judge panel of the same court, in a 2-1 ruling on June 24, had directed U.S. District Judge Emmett Sullivan to grant the Justice Department motion to clear Flynn. Flynn, a retired Army Lieutenant General, was charged under former Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation that detailed Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. election to boost Trump's candidacy. Some of the judges questioned whether it would be premature for them to end the case now, before Sullivan has even ruled on the Justice Department's request for dismissal. The integrity and independence of the courts is also at play here, Judge Cornelia Pillard told Justice Department lawyer Jeff Wall, asking whether any self-respecting federal district judge would simply jump and enter an order without doing what he can to understand both sides. And your position, Pillard told Flynn's lawyer earlier in the hearing, is that, no, he can't hear both sides on the law and he has to drop the case like a hot potato. Democrats and other critics have accused Attorney General Bill Barr of protecting Trump's friends and allies in this and other high-profile criminal cases, warping the rule of law. Trump on July 10 also commuted the prison sentence of his friend and advisor Roger Stone, who was convicted of lying under oath to lawmakers investigating Russian election meddling. Flynn pleaded guilty 2 times to lying to the FBI about his conversations with Russia's then ambassador, Sergei Kislyak, concerning U.S. sanctions imposed on Moscow under President Barack Obama before Trump took office in 2017. Judge Thomas Griffith during the hearing suggested that Sullivan can scrutinize whether Flynn had been given favorable treatment because he is a Trump ally. Griffith also said Sullivan appeared to be simply educating himself by holding a court hearing before ruling on the Justice Department's request. The judge is not simply a rubber stamp, Griffith said, echoing words Sullivan has used in the case. Sidney Powell, Flynn's lawyer, during the hearing accused Sullivan of usurping the job of a prosecutor and said the judge impermissibly sallied forth to right the wrongs that he perceived. Wall told the judges that Sullivan lacks the constitutional authority to second-guess the dropping of the Flynn case. Judge David Tatel pressed Wall over that argument, asking, "Don't courts regularly scrutinize the executive's stated justifications?" Wall also suggested the possibility that the Justice Department moved to drop the Flynn case because of findings that have not been made public. It may be possible the Attorney General had before him information that he was not able to share with the court, Wall said, without offering specifics. In asking the full D.C. Circuit Court to reconsider the 3-judge panel's ruling, Sullivan had said the Justice Department's move to clear Flynn was unprecedented and warranted careful scrutiny. The judges will decide either to order an end to the case or to let Sullivan hear arguments on dismissing the charges. The D.C. Circuit's decision potentially could be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. After pleading guilty, Flynn switched lawyers to pursue a scorched turf tactic that accused the FBI of setting him up. Flynn played a prominent role in Trump's 2016 campaign. Trump then fired Flynn in 2017 after only 24 days as National Security Advisor when it emerged that Flynn had misled Vice President Mike Pence and the FBI about his Kislyak dealings. Reporting by Jan Wolfe and Sarah N. Lynch, editing by Will Dunham. Let's block ads. Why?
Show your love for him. Click the link in description. Thanks for watching.